Anything that you really want in life, it requires a continuous level of recommitment. You know why I love sports so much? It's their dedication to a season. They don't let how they played last season or how well they did last season dictate how they show up for each game. If you ever watch athletes give their interviews, so many times they talk about just staying present with each game. Even when analysts are asking them about how they think they're going to do in the playoffs and they jump 5, 6 games ahead or even towards the end of the season. And so many athletes bring it right back to this game, this moment. So I want to ask you, as your coach, I'm coming in hot. How well are you applying that same recommitment in your life? Listen, I'm not exempt from having to answer these questions as well. Okay. And listen, I more than anybody know that recommitment takes a different level of courage entirely. Because when you are recommitting to something, you often come in with some baggage. You are coming with some failed attempts. You are coming with some losses. But how are you really going to stay focused one game at a time? How are you really going to show up in your life recommitted day after day after day? Regardless of if you fell off, if you didn't show up the way that you thought that you could, or even if you've just been letting your feelings and your circumstances dictate your level of consistency, we are going to get into what it really takes to recommit. Okay, friends? So let's get into it. This is the part of the conversation that I don't think gets enough airtime because we love to talk about starting something new. When you start that new job or you're in the start of that new relationship and you're in that honeymoon phase and everything is just so cute and warm and fuzzy and oh, it's giving the best, right? And once the newness of that thing wears off and our humanness starts to show up, and you know what I mean by that. It is when the days get harder. It is when life circumstances bop you in the face. It is those moments when you just don't feel like doing that thing that you started out so strong doing. We don't often talk about the level of recommitment that is required for anything that is going to be done at an excellent level in your life. That is why they say marriage is not for the faint of heart, honey. We love asking couples who've been married 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. We love to ask them, what is their secret? How did you get so many years in? And friend, I really think that the key is tunnel vision. I think the key is to not live in the past and also not to live so far ahead in the future. The past is already done. There's nothing that we can do about it to change it. The only thing that can change about your past is your perspective of it. And then, of course, you have the present moment, and that's all we ever really have control over. And that is one of the reasons why I love sports so much. There's a gazillion sports stats. They got stats for everything, honey, okay? But I'm a simple stats girl myself. I love to watch the NBA. It's my favorite sport. Basketball is my favorite. And I love looking at each team and how they're playing out the season. And there's 82 games in a season. Right now, OKC is leading the whole league. They are number one. They have only had 16 losses thus far, and they're the number one team. So, friend, I really want to remind you that even when you recommit to something, it doesn't mean that you won't have losses. Even the winningest teams still have losses. 82 games is a lot of games to be played to try to not lose a game. But the difference is, even when a team has 16 losses, that still puts them in the number one position because they've won more games than they've lost. But I don't think that they're even looking at it like that. They stay so laser focused on just this game that has to be played right now. They're not going back in the past. It doesn't matter if they were number one last season. It doesn't matter if they lost the game last night. We got a fresh game ahead of us to play. And that's how I want you to look at your life, not to zero in on the losses, not to zero in on the fact that it hasn't been perfect. And I think so many times we give ourselves a hard time because we started something strong and then we started to trip and fumble a little bit. But those losses is how you learn. Those losses are how you learn how to win more. So don't look at your losses like it's a failure. If you are looking at your love life, for example, and you feel like you've had very few successful relationships, listen, been there. No shame and no shade and no judgment, okay? That is not what we do around here, okay? So we are not holding your relationship track record over your head. But friend, are you? Are you doing that? Every time that you start a new relationship, are you still focused on how the other ones didn't work out? Or are you being present in today's relationship so that you can stay focused on winning every day, or at least winning more days than you lose? And even if you lose some days, are you learning from them? Are you watching back tape? Are you figuring out where the missteps happen? Are you course correcting as you go? Or are you beating yourself up or your partner up because it wasn't perfect? Friend, this is where the recommitment comes in and it matters so much. Just your decision alone to recommit is a bold power move. And let me tell you why. Because it takes a whole new level of you to recommit, even when you're carrying some of the bags from the losses. But as long as you are turning those L's into learning opportunities, friend, then even those losses, you get to transmute those. You get to alchemize that into a win for your future. And there's something beautiful that happens when you recommit. When I first started this YouTube channel back in December of 2025, I started out strong. I was posting every day. I was so proud of myself. And then life happened and it punched me in the gut, like life tends to do sometimes. And I allowed my circumstances to dictate whether or not I was going to show up. I let my feelings dictate how consistent I was going to be. And so I fell off a little bit. I got back on and I fell off a little bit. And I did that until I made a recommitment February 15th of 2026. And I've been going strong ever since. And I think that me recommitting actually unlocked a whole new level of confidence, one that I didn't have when I started in December. So I don't look at my start in December as a loss. I look at it as a learning opportunity. What I learned is when I started making YouTube videos in December, I was doing that from my old identity, the identity where I had a fear of being seen, the identity of where I felt shy and uncomfortable on camera. It's weird talking to a camera and not talking to a person. This is not easy, okay? But despite how uncomfortable I felt or Even just not liking how I look on camera was a problem, okay? And now I'm like, listen, y'all gonna get this hoodie and okay, listen, some lip gloss and we going for it. But it was recommitting that really made all of the difference. It was okay that I didn't start out perfect. It was okay that I was still working through the last of my old identity and working through that fear of being seen. But once I recommitted, once I decided I didn't want to start another year like I did this year. I wanted to be in a brand new place. And the only way for me to get to a brand new place was to recommit and not look at the past, not be worried about how long it took me to get here. Because, truth be told, I have been battling that fear of being seen for most of my life. And it really took me to do this exercise to really face it for the very first time and to realize that by facing it, it lost its power over me. By bringing it out of the darkness and into the light, I have the power now. That's a brand new level of confidence unlocked that showed up because I showed up every day, because I recommitted to my goal every single day. And every video is not perfect. Not yet, anyway. I'm working on it, okay? And that is what matters. It's okay that some videos don't get any views. That's okay. I showed up that day. That is a win. That is me taking what looked like an L. Because listen, friend, I know you be catching some L's sometimes. We all do. But that's how you take that L and you flip that into a learning opportunity because when you learn, there is no losing. When you learn and you capitalize off of that, you're starting stronger the next day. So I just really want to encourage you to be okay with not having a perfect season. Be okay with not having a perfect game. Be okay that life isn't perfect, that we're all going to take some L's sometimes. But if you can flip those and capitalize off of those, that is how you win in the long term. And out of all of this, friend, it's not just about recommitting to your process, it's who you become in the process. When I talked about that new level of confidence being unlocked, friend, I don't know who this woman is, but I love her. So, what new has been unlocked in you just by continuing to keep going? Listen, there's always going to be reasons why we want to stop. Sometimes it's our past. Sometimes it's you feel like you're being treated unfairly at work. Sometimes that relationship is so much harder than you thought that it would be, or that you even want it to be. Or sometimes you are just simply dealing with something within yourself. It's you versus you. And I know that feeling too. So, whatever it is that you are facing, trust it is here to develop a new you. This is how you do it, friend. It's not just about achieving whatever goal it is that you've set to work out for. It's not just, to be that star athlete. It is not just to be that star player at work. It is not just to be the relationship goals. All of those things are beautiful and it's amazing to strive for something because that's where the living is, friend. Sometimes people they feel so lost and it's just because they're not moving towards anything. They've just kind of gotten comfortable with their day to day of how life is and it just seems like groundhog day on repeat. But when you are actually striving towards something new, that gives you a little shimmy in the shoulder. You know what I mean? that gives you some wind beneath your sails. It's something that lights you up, something that makes you get out of bed and want to give it another try. So just know that whatever goal it is that you have set out to achieve, your greatest accomplishment will always be who you become on your path within your process of getting there. Friend. Oh, this was good. Okay. Are you loving the recommitment? Are you ready to recommit to yourself and in your life? Okay, friend, because we are doing it up in here. Let me go ahead and get you your journal prompt real quick. I've been sitting on this new one of those like yoga balls. I love it. Okay, here we go. I just have to like stop myself from bouncing though. Okay. Where have I been waiting for a perfect record before I allow myself to recommit? And what would it look like to make the decision today, not from a fresh start, but from everything I have already learned? Ooh, friend. Okay, journal prompt. Look at me coaching up in here. Remember, friend, when you decide to recommit, you are not starting at ground zero, okay? You are starting from a brand new place along your journey, okay? And that is the beauty of it all. So I would love for you to meet me in the comments. Let me tell you what we're doing in the comments today. Okay, what is something you are ready to recommit to today? Because I would love to celebrate with you there, friend, because recommitment is important. It's not just that you decided to do this new thing, it is going to require you recommitting to it consistently. And even that recommitment, it may not always be perfect, but remember, that's not even what we're going for. We're not striving for perfection. We are striving for progress. And as long as there is movement, friend, and hopefully more of that movement is forward movement, that's what really matters. It is the progress that you make. It is making those deposits on repeat. It's staying focused, even when you are dealing with life and whatever else decides to come your way. But I'm cheering for you, friend, loud and obnoxiously always. So I hope that you loved this episode as much as I love making it for you. And if you want even more journal prompts, I'll be sure to link a resource for you down in the description. And friend, you know, I love myself so much. I don't play about me. And if you hang out with me long enough, you will love yourself so much that you won't play about you either. Okay, friend? I will meet you in the comments and I will see you in the next video tomorrow.